Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this series is going to be a little bit different. I had concentrated on making short, informative videos concerning health and how people can get healthy with diet. And those are there to be used as a resource, and they have a particular function, and they are meant to get you to utilize these concepts, first understand them, and then utilize them and take any nugget you can from them to try and change your lifestyle, to try and change your diet and see results. So I hope they're helpful, but also I wanted to delve deeper into certain health issues that, most people or health topics that most people resonate with, and that are equally as detrimental or eye-opening to the public, and that can impact people's health. So I wanted to really give my opinion on these trending topics, whether they're true, whether they're actually a fad, or just using my expertise and my experience to give you pointers about whether this is something to really think about, or if it's important, or if it's something that you should really ignore, or it doesn't really make a lot of sense when it comes to health. So it is my kind of review of these trending topics, trending ideas. So this first topic is important because it deals with hormone disruption. And hormone disruption is ubiquitous in our world, in our society, because we are always touching receipts, we're always cooking our foods in plastics, microwaving them, we're using plastic bottles that are heated by the sun. So all of those things, all of these practices can disrupt hormones because we're touching these endocrine disruptors. And what these endocrine disruptors are that are used to coat plastic, that are used to coat receipts and other products. Basically, endocrine disruptors mimic hormones. So they falsely tell the endocrine glands what hormones and how much to produce. And when you dysregulate the hormonal production, you dysregulate the body, how the organs perform, how the body works, how the nervous system works. So everything becomes chaotic. So let's watch this video together and I'll comment on it after. Okay.
Is it true that microwave safe means it just means that the plastic won't melt in the microwave, but it's...
Do never put plastic in a microwave. So here's the story. The BPA, phthalates, plasticizers are added to the plastic, but they're not chemically bound to it. Okay? So if you put anything in a container that has these chemicals in it, they will, and then put it in a hot environment, they will come out of the plastic and go into the food. So if you, in a microwave, or you put your bottle in the car, and the sun comes in, it warms up the bottle, and then the stuff goes into your water. You don't want to mix these chemicals and your food, but if you do, the worst thing is to do it in a heated environment.
Okay, so let's talk about the video. Plastic contains not only BPA. Nowadays, a lot of companies want to stay away from BPA because a lot of consumers know that BPA is harmful. It's an endocrine disruptor. So what they're doing is they're using BPA-like chemicals to coat their plastic with. And these BPA-like chemicals basically act in a very similar way. They're also disruptive to the endocrine system. So we have to be really even ask further questions as consumers. And when we think of, this video is wonderful because the lady really talks about the importance of heat. So when we heat anything, any chemical, any substance, we basically change its chemistry. Every time you heat anything to a certain point, you are going to change its chemistry. And when that happens, a lot of free radicals, chemicals, coatings, everything is released. So these chemical bonds are released and they're changed into a different substance. So when it comes to heating anything that's a chemical, that be also your sunscreen, because conventional sunscreens are full of chemicals. So when you put them on our skin and we're out there in very, very, very high heat sunshine, so what happens is we basically stimulate these chemicals with heat, because heat is stimulating, and we cause those chemicals to become more detrimental to our health than they would have otherwise. So those chemicals would be absorbed into our blood system in a way that is more detrimental to the liver function. And, they're forever chemicals, a lot of them. So we have to be careful what we do, what kind of substance we use for cooking, what kind of substance we use on our bodies. And is this substance, when it's heated or when it's exposed to sunshine, is it going to harm us? So it really depends on the level of the heat, the intensity of those waves. And microwaves obviously are very, very high frequency heat that changes chemistry incredibly so. So even if you don't microwave food in plastic, if you microwave food on regular basis, just know that a lot of that food structure, because high heat changes chemistry, is going to be compromised. It's going to be changed. So my recommendation is always to cook on a stove on a stainless steel pot or skillet, and or glass, or you could use ceramics, and to cook on very low heat, because basically you're giving your food the time to get to that level of cooked consistency, but you're not doing it in a high heat state to basically kill off the enzymes and vitamins such as vitamin A and D. They're highly compromised on when it comes to high heat. So you want to do that, and use very friendly oils as well. If you're going to cook and you're going to use oils, cook with the best oils, because any other seed oil or any oil that's not what I would suggest, olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil, any other oils are incredibly, not only do they change chemistry, but they're incredibly toxic when they do. If you use, let's say, olive oil on high heat, yes, you're going to compromise the oil's integrity and its structure, its beneficial structure, but it's not going to be compromised on that level, or it's not going to cause that impact on your body that's inflammatory or detrimental. So just few tips. And why we talk about plastic is because plastics are known to always have BPA or endocrine disruptors. So do fragrances. So if you use scented candles or any air fresheners, those are incredibly, incredibly detrimental to your endocrine system. They're also highly neurotoxic. So the idea is to understand that mainstream chemicals, mainstream things that are incredibly, how should I say it, incredibly steeped into our common cultural consciousness, meaning cooking this way, using plastics for this, using the microwave, making our places smell artificially. All of those things, even detergents, all of those things are chemical based. So how do they interact with our bodies? How do they interact with our incredibly sensitive endocrine system? When we really mess around with hormonal function, just look at the state of our organs. How they perform will be either hyper or hypo on a scale of activity. So they can underperform or overperform. And that can cause so many other issues, and inflammation, of course, and disease down the line. So just thinking about dysregulation as the precursor of disease, we don't want to get dysregulated to that extent of having to deal with disease. A little bit goes a long way. These chemicals are accumulative, So we want to stay away from them as much as possible in terms of foods, things we cook with, things we're exposed to in our environment. Really, really have to be kind of the gatekeepers of our reality. So to sum up, endocrine disruptors are highly, highly detrimental to the function of our organs, but also to our fertility and the development of our children. So children developing or pregnant women being exposed to endocrine disruptors is a main cause of child development issues, brain development, height, metabolism. All of these issues can be mitigated by us being watchful. The world is chemistry. So if we're the gatekeepers of the chemistry that we internalize, that we bring into our world, we can better regulate how we show up in the world. So thank you for sticking around. I hope you liked this video, that you learned something. And if you did, please do give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon. Stay well.